Hey everyone, this is Ian from Witching Owl Studios, and I'm here to show you Ravenmark Mercenaries, the next game that we are going to be putting out in about a week's time. So we want to take you through what it's like and what kind of features you'll be seeing within Ravenmark. And now, one of the biggest things that we're bringing to the table is multiplayer, and I will be talking about that a little bit more in depth towards the end of this video. But first and foremost, we want to take you through what else you can do in the game. Alright, so this is the multiplayer page. We'll come back here in a bit. First thing I want to show you is the armies. Alright, and this is what you actually bring into the battlefield. So unlike the first Ravenmark, where what you took onto the battlefield was decided for you, you actually have an opportunity to control what you bring onto the field. So as you can see here, you have a bunch of different armies that you can bring in, and you can actually find out a little bit more about them over here. Now you can see what you're going to bring onto the field. Now, so it's a bit of a mix and match, because as you go into a fight, you can bring on 4 of these brigades, but only 2 are brought onto the battlefield. So it's a mix and match of what do you think is best to win in that map. So let's switch something out just to give you an idea of what it's like. So let's move this over here. Right. So these are going to be the brigades that I'm going to bring in for a fight. Now, aside from multiplayer, there is a small single player aspect that we're bringing to the table, which is the world map. And as a mercenary captain, you are able to take on contracts and help the various nations in the world. You can actually zoom in and you can actually see the major factions within the world. Now, there are minor contracts, but the first thing I want to show you is an actual fight to give you a bit of a meat of what the game is about. So let's go into a border skirmish. So right now I'm working with Isota, and I'm going to pick the 2nd division, which I edited earlier. Right, so with border skirmishes, you are fighting for different factions to assist them along the borders, and you can actually see what the enemy is going to bring on. So in the meantime, observing what the enemy has, you can actually decide what else to bring into the fight. Now, for this particular one, I'm going to try and bring on some more interesting things. Over here we have an artillery platform and some walkers. Let's deploy that. Right, there you go. Now, the one thing that makes the whole Ravenmark series very different from most turn-based strategy games is that it uses a we go system, which means instead of you taking a turn and the other player taking a turn, all turns kind of occur at the same time while your units carry out the actions that you have commanded them to. So in this situation, you can actually see where the enemy can go, and you can decide how do you like to respond to it. Now, another interesting thing to note is that in multiplayer, you also have this fellow over here called the Standard Bearer. Now, he is a special unit that actually has an aura, as you can see over here, that buffs the units around him. Losing him could be quite dangerous though, you could be in a lot of trouble. So in the meantime, I'm just going to move my guys forward. Right, so once you're happy with the commands and you think that this will suffice, you can hit start and the battle will start. Right, so there we go. Now, you can also mess around with the speed of the playthrough, so you can see whatever is comfortable for you. So there goes my artillery platform. Now, units have unique abilities that you can actually use, and you can actually check through because there's a codex over here that tells you what they can do. For example, the Jabberwocky over here, you can see there's some really nice artwork, has the ability to spray molten lava with molten spray. So let's move that. Let's do that. Abilities, molten spray. Another important thing to note is that we use an initiative system, so the numbers actually matter, as you can see over here. So this fellow over here, number 1, he's going to move first, and I know he's going to charge my ball. So I'm going to move my ball to get ready for that. And for our RAF platform, which is an artillery platform, we can actually fire artillery. Let's fire it over here. And as you can tell, it even shows where the shells are going to hit. Let's advance these guys. Okay, once you're happy with it, you can hit start again. So if you're not too comfortable with going straight for multiplayer, this is a very good opportunity for you to try out, units and strategies, and get a very good grasp of how the game goes and the mechanics involved. Now, if we go over to the manage army and the brigades, you can actually see that they can level up as well, and you can actually give them badges and medals that will increase their efficacy on the battlefield. So different types of medals will give you different results as you play. So you might see 2 players bring on the same brigade, but the game might go very differently based on what they decided on. Aside from that, you can also check up on the characters. Now all the characters has their own story, and they kind of tie in with who they're attached to. They also have some unique abilities to take on, which is really quite fun. Right, so aside from managing armies, so as you get more powerful and you accrue a nice pot of wealth, you can actually spend it on hiring newer brigades. Now these new brigades bring on interesting and different strategies as you go on, and they're all aligned to different factions. Now that actually matters because you can actually gain favor with certain factions, and this favor allows you to purchase these brigades at a lower price. You might even be able to, it also lowers the cooldown because your brigades need time to replenish the men that they lose during a fight. Now, how do you gain favor? Aside from helping in the border skirmishes and defending the nation that you choose to align yourself to, you can also do minor contracts, which is a bit more of the story. It tells you a little bit more of the world and how the world is kind of evolving around the actions of the major players. So right now you can actually go in and select a brigade, that's Sangralo, and you will get a result. So, didn't do too well, apparently we're not very liked, but whenever you go send your brigades out, they will go on a cooldown. During this cooldown you can't use them, but you can replenish them for a small fee. Right, so aside from all of that, as you level up, you can also gain commander traits. Now these traits also change your strategy and the way you're going to play, because aside from leveling up your brigades and giving them medals, you can actually create synergies between how you as a commander play with what your brigades get. Aside from traits, you can also customize your banner. Now this is something we are very happy with. We understand that an identity is very important to a mercenary company, and this is where you actually get an opportunity to change it and try different things. This is one of the best ways to do that. So you can actually change sigils and the design. Right, maybe let's change the color. Design color, red. Let's go with pink, what the hell. Right. So with all that done, there's a lot to do outside of multiplayer that allows you to sink your teeth into a new and interesting world. But I'm pretty certain you've been waiting for us to talk about multiplayer, so let's do that. So this is the multiplayer lobby. It allows you to challenge random opponents and your friends. So let me just show you what the friends list is like. You can obviously, as you can see here, you can just type in the name of somebody and challenge them immediately. So right now I'm going to challenge Gilgamesh, and I will bring on my first division because it has my favorite brigades. Right, as you can see, it goes into a waiting section. where he can respond to it before I get to go in. In the meantime, I'm going to show you some other things that you can do. Wow, he's fast. Alright, so let's go in to the battle. Beach assault. Okay, so I gotta be a bit more careful because he has brought on a very interesting brigade. These guys can actually teleport. As you can see, the ability corpse jump over here. So that's a bit dangerous. As you can tell, this time around, I've only have one additional brigade within this division. So that means I don't have very much choice with regards to how I want to respond to him. So I am going to deploy the farewell few. So let's give some commands. Let's move these guys up here, here. And another unique thing about Ravenmark is that we actually have formations. So to save you command points and to make your units a bit more powerful, you can actually form things up into larger formations. As you can see, when I form them up, they have these two buffs. So now they get a range formation bonus, and they get double volley, which is an opportunity for free extra attack. So it's quite useful to keep them in formations. Based on this, I hope he doesn't have anything nasty in there for the other brigade. Let's hit start. Nice, he's made his move already. Let's see what he brings onto the field. Oh. Alright. You see those guys with the big balls on their back? Those are suicide bombers, and I am going to stay far, far away from them. You know what? Let's skip ahead. Oh, yeah, I was afraid of that. No, no, no! Ah! Good lord. I guess he learned how to use his Sun Souls properly now. Right, okay. I think I am not doing very well. I'm going to leave you guys at this point. Do check out Ravenmark. I think you can find the links in the description. If anything, if you want to challenge and beat one of the developers, Amphibious, by all means send me a challenge. I'd be happy to play with you guys. Signing off. See you, man.